Hi, Andy.
Hey, Holly.
So I've got a few questions for you all around the Service Suite for Microsoft Teams. So we've just released Service Suite for Microsoft Teams. Can you tell us a little bit about it and the benefits as well?
Yeah, sure, Holly. I mean, exciting times. We have had at Gamma a voice enablement solution for Teams for quite some time. Started off with Microsoft Direct Routing, of course, and we're very successful in that. And then over the last 18 months, 2 years, we released Operator Connect.
Yeah.
Which of course came with its own little bundles like inclusive minutes. It had fraud management, Citrix Core Manager, of course, configure Citrix Core Manager.
Yeah, Citrix Core
Absolutely.
Manager.
And we actually also included a call recording solution on there as well with Dubber.
Mm-hmm.
From a partner perspective, though, it was felt that in order to get it into their portfolio, because let's face it, having Microsoft Teams in your portfolio is just a must-have thing, given the size of the market that they're ultimately going to have. I think Cabell were quoting something like 41% by 2028. Yeah. So it kind of stands to reason that they need it within their portfolio. But the excitement of just having a line that you voice enable for Teams wasn't exactly lighting up the channel base, if you like. So we needed to add value within that transaction, within that service.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because what you ended up with is just a relationship that was just based on transaction. It was a transactional relationship. We were just selling them low margin lines to voice enable Teams. So what we've done is we've come up with this service suite for Microsoft Teams, which in effect, it just enables a more stickier service. It enables partners to put a bigger service around it. It enables them to make margin on it.
Yeah.
And it's a whole suite of products that you can wrap into Teams. So it just takes it away from just being that transactional relationship to a value-added relationship. That's effectively what it is. And as I said, we've already started the process, but we've got a whole load more products to wrap around it.
Exciting stuff. So I guess it's all about kind of getting customers stickier, increasing AMPU.
Absolutely.
Excellent, brilliant. So can you give me a little bit more detail as to what the actual components are of the Service Suite for Microsoft Teams? So what's coming?
So we've got the double one, as I said already. Just a bit of a recap on that. That in effect is that call recording solution that gives you, it starts delving into that very advanced actually level of AI. So you've got that sentiment analysis in there. You've even got things like emotion detection. So that's just available now. But what we are starting to, or we are going to start providing, is just things like, you've got call recording, then you're going to need call analytics. So we'll provide the call analytics piece alongside it, and delight that we're going to be in partnership with Akixi. Mm-hmm. So Akixi we just use for all of our partnerships. Are
Horizon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Partners are familiar with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got that. We've got the call analytics that's going to dive into everything that you could possibly think of in terms of reporting on that voice element. But we're also going to be bringing additional elements such as providing the hardware behind it as well. So handsets, headsets, and so on that are very specific to Teams. So they'll work well alongside that. Professional services is another one. We've always had it, but we're really going to do a push on it.
Yeah.
There is such it can be complex when you're talking about a large pool of numbers, for example. And that's where our professional services come in. But they, our professional services, they can do a little, they can do the whole managed lot if you want them to, but they're there to just provide that whole stack.
Excellent. So you talked around all the solutions that are coming. Can you talk a little bit more detail about what's coming in 2025? So the extra bits that we're adding to this Service Suite for Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got, when we review our portfolio of services, then we just need to keep it evolving as we go. And we do tend to get a lot of feedback from our partners about where we need to steer the products.
Yeah.
Where we can start again adding that additional value and giving them the ability to give that service wrap around it. So as such, we've got a few coming out in 2025. We have a contact center solution that's traditionally just sat on Horizon. It forms a main part of our CCaaS strategy. So what we're going to do is just decouple that from Horizon. We're going to fully and deeply integrate that into Teams. So that, in effect, you won't need the Horizon element of it.
Yeah.
You'll just be working natively out of Teams with contact running in the background, providing all of those call flows, all of that queuing capability, all of that routing capability. That's a good quality call center, contact center needs. And that could be serving you've obviously got your traditional agent and supervisor solution. But it doesn't have to be the agent. And what we realized on Horizon is that you can actually take that into contact centers to actually realize they're a contact center as well. So Horizon is a good example, is that you can put it in front of a GP. But as we know, certainly with what Microsoft are pushing in the market, is they're looking to get further and further down into that SMB market and actually looking to us for our help. And assistance with that, which is exactly why we're bringing this contact center or contact for Teams into being. So that's one of them. We are also bringing out more of a managed service, and that's just to help with our partners in terms of their ongoing support of the solution. So we actually realize that can be quite complex, can be quite time consuming. There's a lot of training potentially to support the whole aspect of Teams, the installation element. So we're going to be providing alongside the professional services that we already have, a managed service solution as well, which kind of ties in with the last element that we're doing. So from a Microsoft licensing perspective, then Gamma will provide that full solution for you, so you can actually purchase that licensing through Gamma. And of course, with everything that we've now got, then that what's going to obviously provide you is that single bill, that single support unit. You can put the managed services piece in there as well. Professional service to give you that full support. It's literally no excuse really not to have Microsoft within your portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. Essentially delivering us, I guess, like a kit bag, like a DIY.
Absolutely.
Do it yourself, Microsoft Teams. Solution. Brilliant. Can you talk a bit around, what we're doing this year, what's coming, what we're going to be releasing essentially?
Yeah, sure. Post-general release, of course, that we mentioned earlier, in terms of it's always an evolving product. Then we've got those other three elements that will be we will be releasing during the course of 2025. And just as a reminder, you've got contacts for Teams. You've also got the managed services elements of it, and then finally that all-important Microsoft licensing.
So Andy, we've talked around all that the service suite Microsoft Teams can bring, but can you expand a bit on what types of partners does this solution really benefit?
Sure. It's a really quick and easy and simple answer, and that's everyone. So this is just for all of our partners, especially for those partners who don't have Microsoft within their portfolio right now, because what we've done is we've just, as part of the service suite, it's completely designed just to make taking that whole Microsoft proposition into the partner portfolio as easy and as simple as possible. When I say simple as possible, does that mean how is it that simple? Well, look, the service suite's absolutely full of things like professional services to help you. It has all of the managed services aspect to it. It's got all of those different elements, and you don't have to take them all. This is a suite of products. It's like a sweet shop. You can just take whichever ones you want. But whatever you want, you can take one bit, you can take all of it. We've got a single support wrap around it, but most importantly, we've got a single bill around it. So it's just really driving the simplicity of this service suite into our partners to just make it really easy just to put into their portfolio.
And that's key, isn't it? Because as a partner, you're going to have so many things that you need to do. Just having something so simple to deploy and kind of taking that stress out and not needing to spend so much time on it is definitely a benefit.
No, absolutely. And from the beta trials that we've already done, and we can see that it's quite popular and it's going to be a good success. And it's in line with all the Bell reports and so on. It's almost got this hockey stick. God, everything has a hockey stick curve on it, doesn't it? Drives the approach, drives the adoption, motivates people to start looking at it. But it really does. Again, it does stand to take a 41% part of the UCaaS market by 2028.
Huge.
So if you ignore the opportunity that this presents to you now, then
You have wilder problems.
Tell me.
Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you found the podcast useful, and hopefully you'll join us in getting involved in the Service Suite for Microsoft Teams.
Perfect, and thanks, Holly, for pressing me with all of those really good and interesting questions. I hope you all found it useful. But if you do need any further information at all, then just come to the sales specialists, Holly, myself, Matty, Elliot, any of the guys. They'll all help you. Alternatively, the BDMs, but they'll probably push them our way anyway.
Thanks so much, Andy.
Okay, no worries.
Cheers.
Cheers.